Everyone, welcome back once again to my YouTube class. Guys, I'm Manjit Rawat, your online instructor. This is another video based on Azure AG104 series, content-based video series. This is 29th video, and in this class, we will discuss about the work of inbound NAT rule, the inbound NAT rule which is available in Azure Load Balancer. So let's talk about the theoretical part first, and after that, we'll move ourselves to portal and discuss about the procedure, how you can implement the NAT rule. So let's talk about the theoretical part of NAT rule. So as you know that if we talk about the basic of NAT, so NAT is a network address translator. You can say that. If we talk about the work of network address translator, so you know that whenever you connect your multiple devices, for example, you have a one ISP, you connected with one ISP, you have a one Wi-Fi router, one internet connection. So you know that with the help of single internet connection, you are able to you are able to connect multiple devices. It may be mobile phone, it may be smartphone, it may be smart TV, a laptop, a desktop. So you know that by using the single public IP address, you are able to operate internet with multiple devices. It may be mobile, it may be smart TV, or it may be laptop or desktop. So in this case, every devices will get a same public IP address. But if we talk about the private IP address, so each and every computer contain our own IP address, means separate IP address. So network address translator come into the picture, which is responsible to translate one public IP address to multiple private IP address, or vice versa. You can say that a multiple private IP address translate to the single public IP address. But if we talk about Azure Load Balancer, if we talk about the Azure NAT rule, Azure inbound NAT rule, which is available in LB service, so it can perform a separate task, because by using this particular service, you can say that we are able to perform the task like as a port forwarding. For example, I'm just going to give you the example of actual usage of NAT rule, inbound NAT rule. For example, in load balancer, you connected with two different virtual machines. Okay, this is our VM1, and second one is Web2 with name of Web2. Both virtual machines connected to the load balancer. This is load balancer LB, and as we know that our load balancer also contain a one public IP address, right? With the help of this particular public IP address, you are able to resolve the name with your own domain that you purchase from godaddy.com. Although you can use the direct public IP address of your load balancer, and just based on any browser, you are able to get you are able to find the data of web server 1 and web server 2 as well. Now, try to understand about the inbound NAT rule. Let's talk about the actual work of NAT rule. So as we know that whenever we create a virtual machine, it contains two different types of IP address. One is public IP address and another is private IP address, right? Private IP address, which is a part of VNet, and public IP address, which is provided by the Azure itself. So now in this case, what happened? For example, you created two virtual machines, so it means that both virtual machine contain a public IP address. Each and every virtual machine contain a public IP address, and our load balancer also contain a single public IP address. So it means that in entire in infrastructure, you are using three different public IP address. So let's talk about the NAT rule, how NAT rule can help us. So NAT rule responsible to translate your private IP address to public IP address of your load balancer. So by using this particular procedure, you have option to remove the public IP address of entire virtual machine that connected in the backend of load balancer. So it means that you can say that you can save the public IP address of your virtual machine, uh, and you can access your entire virtual machine which is connected in the backend of load balancer. You can connect the RDP with the help of public IP address of our LB only. Means you are able to connect your virtual machine web server 1 with the help of same IP address. You can also connect your web server 2 with the help of same Azure load balancer's public IP address. So how we can do that, I'm just going to show you the proper practical. So let's talk about the prerequisite, what you need to do. This is our Azure portal, and over Azure portal I have already created two virtual machine. And see, this is our virtual machine, which is contain a both virtual machine contain a separate public IP address. Web server 1 and web server 2, both virtual machines are running properly, contain a public IP address 4069 something 52.173 dot something, right? but I don't want to use public IP address with this particular machine. I want to use the public IP address of our load balancer and try to access the RDP of entire virtual machine which is available. One of important thing, both virtual machine must be connected with same availability set. So I'm just going to show you. I configured a one availability set with name of test set, and both virtual machines are available in same test set. See, this is the first procedure, this is the first prerequisite, you can say that. And second step, you just need to open the network part, go to the load balancer, because you know that the inbound NAT role are inbound NAT role is available in our load balancer's property. So let's create a one load balancer and attach your entire virtual machine that you created. So I'm just going to use the same resource group, because you know that you must need to use the same data center and location. Type the name of your LB, test LB. Centrally is our location. Yes, make it public. Perform with basic, because we just want to connect to two or three different virtual machine. Next, about the public IP address. Yes, you need to create new public IP address. Test public IP. Okay, so you can put any name, make it dynamic or static. It's fully depend upon you. So I'm not going to make any changes. Proceed with dynamic, review and create. Once our load balancer is ready to use, we will configure inbound NAT rule and give you the proper step how you can access the both virtual machine with the help of single public IP address. Meanwhile, I'm going to connect my on-premises Windows 10 machine that help us to take the RDP of our virtual machine. Okay, this is our Windows 10 operating system that I configured, that I installed in another laptop. Fine, so our load balancer is also ready to use. No need to do anything, just need to open our load balancer properties. Click on backend pool. As you know that if you check the previous video, so I have already created video related to load balancer. Click add and backend pool. As you know that you just need to type the any backend pool name. I'm going to proceed with test pool. Select the network that you created. So we created our virtual machine in Azure Fundamental. Proceed with associate, select virtual machine, click add, and it give you option how many virtual machines are available in same backend pool. So you can say that the backend pool is a space, backend pool is a place where we can access our virtual machine that we created. Very first step, attach the virtual machine. Second step, let's see. I think second step is related to the health probe. Okay, so our backend pool is ready to use. Let's uh, proceed with next part. So now we are able to find both virtual machines are running properly. 10.1.0.7, 10.1.0.6, not an issue. Just proceed with health probe. So in the health probe, you just need to allow the port number 80. Type the name, test. No need to do anything here. Click add. Once our health probe ready to use, we will move ourselves to next step, you can say that. Deployment in progress, so we need to wait. Okay, fine. So our health probe is also ready to use. Another step, load balancing rule. So in case of load balancing rule, you need to provide the information about your front end IP first, and select the proceed protocol. So I'm just going to proceed with port number 80 because we want to access our website as well. So provide the information about your backend pool and health probe as well. No need to do anything. Click add. It's most important because without the load balancing rule, you are unable to get any public IP address with your load balancer. So it's mandatory to configure. So these all are the steps that we already used in our load balancer video. So now are planning to understand about the netting rule, net rule, inbound net rule. So that's why we need to follow the entire procedure of LB. Cool. Everything is okay. I'm just going to click on the overview and verify we are getting a public IP address. 40122.107.9, right? This is the public IP address of our LB. Now, one of important topic as per the discussion in theoretical part, I'm just going to configure the inbound NAT rules because you know that with the help of inbound NAT rules, you are able to access both virtual machines, our entire virtual machine, which is available in the backend of load balancer. So by using the single public IP address, we will access entire virtual machine. How we can segregate the difference between Web 1 and Web 2? Let's see. Select inbound role, and in inbound role you need to click on add button and type the name of your inbound role. So I'm going to proceed with the web RDP. Okay, any name you could put here. Front end IP, you know that you need to select your front end IP that you configured in load balancer. Select the services. In the service need to proceed with RDP. Yes, this is the one of important option. Here, no need to proceed with 3389. You need to select any 4 digit, 6 digit, 4 digit, 5 digit or 3 digit code that segregate the difference between web server 1 and web server 2 or virtual machine 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to proceed with 8585. It's a random number, 4 digit number. You can select anyone. Now you need to target the virtual machine. You have a both option, web 1, web 2. I'm going to proceed with web 1. Select the private IP address, so 10.1.0.7, and now port mapping. You need to map the port. Click custom, and this time not 8585, 3389, because you know that 3389 is a port related to the RDP. So target port is 3389 and port number for this particular virtual machine is 8585. No need to do anything. Click add. For virtual machine 8585 and for virtual machine 2 we will add another number, another 4 digit number. We just need to wait 2 or 3 minutes. Now one port is activated, web RDP. This is the public IP address of your load balancer. Front end port 8585, target name this, and about the service is 3389. Need to add for second virtual machines as well web 2 RDP. Okay, select front end IP, same procedure, need to proceed with RDP, no need to do anything. Select any 4 digit name. So right now, this time I'm going to proceed with 7575. Select your second virtual machine, web 1. Okay, custom, and this time need to change the port number. Click add. So this is the actual task of our inbound NAT rule. Okay, once it saves successfully, we will try to access our virtual machine not with the help of public IP address of VM, with the help of public IP address of our load balancer. So it's a 40122.107.9. Open MSTSC 40.122.107.9 and colon. If you want to access first virtual machine, apply 8585, right? 8585, connect. Provide the username and password that you used before, that you used while configure or creating your virtual machine, and click connect. Yes. Okay, both virtual machines are added successfully in NAT rule. Second, 7575. You must need to use the same IP address but mark a colon and type 7575. This is the first virtual machine's RDP. MSTSC. As it is, you need to change the colon 40122.107.9 colon 7575, right? Click on it. Username web and password. Okay, so now we are able to access both virtual machines RDP by using the same public IP address 40122.107.9, 40122.107.9 colon 8585 colon 7575. So I hope you all of you understand. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open Azure virtual Azure portal, select your virtual machine location and remove the public IP address. We don't want to carry the public IP address of our VM. So open your virtual machines property, go to the networking option, and now need to select your public IP address and deassociate. Once your public IP address deassociated from your virtual machine, you have option to click on delete and permanently remove the public IP address from your VM. Because we want to use only one public IP address to access our virtual machines data, to access the virtual machines RDP as well, right? We have already proceed for deassociation of public IP address, but no impact with your virtual machine, because you know that you are connected with the public IP address of load balancer, and in between NAT rule can perform the task. Now we successfully removed it, deassociate it, click delete, and yes, right. Although we delete it, we are able to access the virtual machine. No impact on your virtual machine. So this is the actual task of NAT rule. So I hope you all of you understand properly about the step to use the NAT rule. So this is all about class 29th. We will connect soon with next video. Thank you guys. Take care.